The UK has a grand total of 25 main train operating companies across England, Wales and Scotland, courtesy of privatisation and selling the railways off in the 1990s under the UK government back then. 30 years later, the UK now has a new government who wants to bring these operations back into public hands, with their new operator, Great British Railways. And what better way to explain what they're doing while riding one of their newest liveried trains on the first train company they took over, South Western Railway. So, what are you waiting for? Let's try out Great British Railways South Western Weybridge to London Waterloo via Staines and Hounslow service. Why hello everyone, it's your good man Addy, otherwise known as Trainman 305. Accompanied with my bike today, but my friend shall join us later. For now though, I welcome you to Weybridge Station. Opening in 1839 by the London and Southampton Railway, it was originally opened for a 12-month trial period, but the station got extremely popular and stayed for good. While it may feel like a quiet suburban stop, it's incredibly busy with around 2 million entries and exits a year, and it sits on the South Western Main Line, one of the busiest main lines in the country. Weybridge is actually located in Surrey and just under 20 miles from central London, meaning it doesn't take long to get there from a direct train heading via Surbiton. The station features are also pretty basic, but at least they're simple and easy to navigate, and I also appreciate how it's entirely step-free from the street all the way to the platform. The main operator of Weybridge is South Western Railway. I'll talk more about them in a moment. They mainly run suburban and commuter trains from Weybridge with a relatively okay frequency, with a train roughly every 20 minutes to and from London on the main line, with their Arterio and Desiro fleet, whilst other long distance trains usually pass through non-stop. Now then, as the last train just cleared the platform with the sun still shining, let's talk about Great British Railways. Great British Railways, or GBR, is a planned state-owned railway company that will operate most rail infrastructure and the majority of passenger rail services in Great Britain, alongside devolved and open access operators. It'll be established with the passing of the forthcoming railway bill as part of the Starmer government's plan to not renew contracts to private train companies. It'll absorb the functions of Network Rail, the Rail Delivery Group and the DfT operator as part of the Department for Transport, and each of the passenger service franchises as their contract expires. The first train company to become part of GBR was South Western Railway on the 25th of May 2025, with some trains receiving GBR brand Coming Soon livery. However, amusingly, the first South Western Railway service after renationalisation was a rail replacement bus due to planned engineering works on that day. Also, the SWR branding never changed. The government was waiting to take over more franchises one by one before rolling out the GBR branding, but when they did get the operator, they immediately started simplifying the management, job and hiring structure of the particular company they ended up receiving. Right now, Great British Railways has 10 operators, with GTR joining soon. So to celebrate this, on the 21st of May 2026, an ex-Great Western Railway 387 was unveiled with the Great British Railways livery at Brighton, with the Transport Secretary Heidi Alexandra making the trip to Brighton for the unveiling. She stated, "The unveiling of the first GBR branded train in Brighton today makes the future of Britain's railway a reality. It represents all of the work being done by staff up and down the country to fundamentally reform our railway. This isn't just a paint job. It's an important step towards building a more joined-up, publicly owned railway that puts passengers first, delivers better service, and leaves the frustration and fragmentation of the past behind." Whilst I tragically couldn't attend, I heard the livery looks nicer in person, which is what we're about to find out, as literally a day later on the 22nd of May, a South Western Railway Class 701 Arterio was unveiled at Waterloo with the new GBR livery as well, which was the first GBR livery train to run from London to my knowledge. The inaugural launch service was from Waterloo to Weybridge via Hounslow and Staines, and we're riding it on its second service back to London. So why don't we see this 701 go off so we can see our train come in, and then we'll talk about the service we're actually riding.
units or revised. Disruption is expected until 3 p.m. today.
Well, I'm not sure about you, but to me this livery looks absolutely stunning. It surprisingly suits the train's exterior very well, and in a weird way it kind of reminds me of Network Southeast? Or is that just me? Anyway, let's just admire the train for a moment and get on board. It's pretty much just a standard arterio. With the only real difference just being the colours on the outside. Look, even it still has the old southwestern colours on the safety notices. So, yeah. Still has all the standard arterio features with USB charging, 3-pin power sockets, 2 accessible toilets, bike storage, and the seating mainly consisting of 2x2 layout. Oh, and wheelchair space, of course. This is definitely still factory new, but genuinely I'm wondering, why are there so many beeps? Is this clean? Yeah, clean, good enough for me. Right, let's get out of here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, this is your guard and welcome on board this 1403 Southwestern Railway service to London Waterloo.
As the amazing guard has reminded me, we're going to be using the other line to get to Waterloo, via the Chertsey line, the Waterloo to Reading line, and the Hounslow Loop line. So let's wait for our train to close the doors so we can get going.
Welcome aboard the Southwestern Railway service to London Waterloo. Calling at Addleston, Chertsey, Virginia Water, Egham, Staines, Ashford, Surrey, Feltham, Hounslow, Isleworth, Sion Lake, Brentford, Kew Bridge, Chiswick, Barnes Bridge, Barnes, Putney, Wandsworth Town, Clapham Junction, Queenstown Road, Battersea, Vauxhall, and London Waterloo.
Our trains are patrolled by uniformed and plain-clothed revenue protection teams.
The next station is Addleston.
The first train to run between Weybridge and Waterloo via Staines and Hounslow began in 1903 by the London and South Western Railway. Today, it's operated by Great British Railways under the South Western Railway brand. South Western Railway actually started by private operators, first group in MTR, on a private contract, and their ownership lasted from 2017 to 2025 before GBR took over.
London Waterloo.
Let's give a mention to Chertsey and Addleston, two neighbouring intermediate stations on the Chertsey branch line. While Chertsey maintains its Victorian-style Grade 2 listed building, Addleston has modernised facilities with smart card capabilities. At this point, we go over the M25 and M3 motorways, busy and congested while we're chilling on a train. The next stop on our timetable is Virginia Water, and you're about to see that most passengers prefer to change trains here while heading to London, as most of the time, faster trains would overtake the stoppers over here. That reminds me, let's talk about trains. At the moment, we're in a Class 701 Arterio, part of the Aventra family of trains from Bombardier. They're pretty good actually, and I already said the new livery suits it, with the only problem being the Wi-Fi on this unit not working. But that's usually not the norm, as all other services have pretty good connection in my opinion. There are two other units that run on this side of the network as well. The Class 458 Juniper units built by Alstom, that's what just overtook us, and the Class 450-0 units built by Siemens. Both units are expected to be removed from these services by October 2026. The 450s are just going to transfer to other lines like Waterloo to Alton, but the 458s are going to go into warm storage and be taken out of service entirely, which is truly a tragedy if you ask me, but I'll talk more about them in a future video. Anyway, welcome to Egham, home to the Royal Holloway University of London, a prestigious research-intensive Constitution University of London, despite actually being in Surrey, because we're still in Surrey. But let's just ignore that for now and go over the River Thames. A Approaching Staines means we've arrived at the end of the Chertsey branch line, but we still continue on the Waterloo to Reading line. Staines is also the station for the 950 bus to Thorpe Park and the X442 for Heathrow Airport. There's a home county route, so Oyster cards are not permitted. Oh, and change here for services to Windsor, if you want to see Legoland or the castle. Say hello to Ashford, Surrey, not Kent, the last station in Surrey before we enter Greater London. That made me remember something. Great British Railways plans on painting every train they get with this livery. Whilst it does look good on the 701 and other boxy looking trains, I don't think it's going to look nicer on rounder and smoother trains like the LNER and GWR 800s. I don't think it'll flow nicely. Anyway, welcome to Feltham, our first station in Greater London and in the Oyster Zone, meaning Oyster cards can be used from this point all the way to Waterloo. Also, change here again for buses to Heathrow Airport, London buses this time, so they will be cheaper. And keep an eye out for Feltham Train Care Depot to the right of us. Anyway, we're about to make a sharp left and make our way to the Hounslow Loop line, meaning we leave the Waterloo to Reading line for a little bit. Welcome to the Hounslow Loop line, with our next station being Hounslow itself. The station is situated roughly 10 minutes from Hounslow High Street, Treaty Shopping Centre and Hounslow Heath. Also reminding me, there are a couple of things I feel are missing from this livery. Steal that colour label idea from ScotRail or something, so it's a bit more clear where everything is. Anyway, we're just departing Isleworth as I say that. This is also where my friends join me, so I'm extremely happy.
Nicole, Zachary. So you saw all of them? Oh, right. Oh, yeah. He picked upside down.
Thank you. You know, going through the southwestern commuter lines makes me have a few more questions. What about special liveries and names, like the Pride trains, the Poppy train, William Shakespeare, etc.? Would those special names and liveries go? Well, I'm certain GBR will definitely keep the names of the trains, like our 701 still has its Arterio branding stickers, and other units are confirmed to keep their plates and names as well. However, for the livery itself, like with the Pride trains, I have no idea. This is literally like one of the few things I'm struggling to find out about GBR. I do hope they keep them, as they're a nice addition to the railway in my opinion, but I'll let you know until I find out more. Anyway, welcome to Kew Bridge, close to Kew Gardens, worth visiting in my opinion. And keep an eye out for the freight line to the left of you. More wonders to think about as we get closer to London. With that, welcome to Chiswick, close to the Chiswick House and Gardens and the University of London Boat Club on the River Thames. The Grade 2 listed transport hub is also located within Grove Park residential area, which is probably a major factor as to why a large chunk of our train got off here. But hey, I don't mind a quieter train, makes it easier for me to film. Then we cross over the River Thames a second time. Haha, look at the amazing view of the River Thames. Into Barnes Bridge. It's a pretty nice area if you fancy a walk along the river. Also, Barnes Bridge station itself may be very small, but don't underestimate its footfall. We have a large number of passengers boarding from this station daily. Anyway, as you can see, we've officially rejoined the Waterloo to Reading line, meaning the Hounslow Loop line has officially ended at Barnes. And despite this station being extremely busy, it's actually smack bang in the middle of Barn Common Nature Reserve. So expect more trees than buildings here, which is a nice change considering the rest of the stations were very urban in my opinion. Clearing Barnes means we're getting extremely close to the city centre. We first crawl our way into Putney. You can find Putney Bridge and Putney Pier just a 10-minute walk from here, and also Putney East for the district line. And then we go through Wandsworth Town after this. Oh, by the way, after departing Putney, keep an eye out for the right-hand side of you. You can see some allotments of an abandoned bridge and a slow bridge just leaning its way down onto the tracks. That bridge is actually what the 455 farewell tour used. It's a secret track that's normally used for South Western Railway empty stock movements.
Like, that's what I don't like, when they get away. I mean, that was a year ago. I was using this just to run London to Barcelona. Fair enough.
The next station.
Clearing Wandsworth Town Station means we arrive to the busiest railway junction in the world, Clapham Junction, which gets anywhere from 160 to 200 trains an hour across its 17 platforms. Also, despite the name Clapham Junction, it's actually in Battersea, and has some fantastic destinations worth visiting. Departing Clapham Junction to the final stretch to Waterloo is my favourite railway entrance to the capital city centre, starting off with running alongside the South Western Main Line and the Brighton Main Line, as it's really fun to just race the trains that are running alongside us before we stop at Queenstown Road, Battersea, as well as admire all the engineering that went into all the track constructions over here. And oh look, Southern's about to fly, everyone!
Oh, okay. Anchorage is Alaska. How is it?
After departing Queenstown Road, Battersea, we traversed the endless skyline of all the fancy overpriced flats and the amazing office structures as well. It's just incredible to think what the capital can build when they put their mind to it. It's just so cool. Anyway, approaching Vauxhall, let me tell you about the price. I bought my ticket on the day of travel on the Choo Choo app plus my 16 to 25 rail card with 1/3 off. This journey costed me around about £8.55.
It's the main airlines.
Which I mean, it's okay, but it's actually 25% cheaper if you go via Surbiton on the main line, and return tickets are better in terms of money value as it's a commuter line that expects people to make the same day return journeys.
I never forget the house. Anyway.
Now then, on the approach to Waterloo, and this video being late so I could do some more research on GBR, is Great British Railways a good rail operator? Well, at least for me, it's too soon to tell. The reason why I'm saying this is because this service is still very much a South Western Railway branded service. The railway has not recognised Great British Railways as the primary operating brand yet. Other noteworthy things to point out also include every train with a Union Jack flag. That's just going to get very boring quickly, and I feel many regions of the railway would lose their identity under this approach. However, do I find South Western Railway under GBR better than I did with First and MTR? Well, yes, 100%, absolutely. Service punctuality and communication has definitely improved over the last year, and I'm certain that'll be the same for other operators under GBR across the country. Also, the fare structure and hiring procedures are continuing to get better as we speak, and I do predict that services will continue to improve over the following years. Anyway, welcome to London Waterloo, ladies and gentlemen, the final stop of our service. Got my bike, and we're off. Now, unfortunately, a bunch of trains have been cancelled due to a tree on the line. So my next fastest train home is literally the train I was supposedly meant to leave. What was I saying about GBR's punctuality a minute ago? Anyway, no one can help a tree on the line, so I'll forgive him for now. As I actually now know where the cycle space is on the train, I thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and do consider following my other socials if you want to see some more content. Otherwise, do promise to look after yourself. Take care everyone, bye bye, have a good day.